This time 4 years ago, I posted this story to my Instagram account. Pretty much I was fed up and I was like, all right, fuck it. It's time to get a major placement. Now it did take me longer than 6 months. It took me actually about a year from that story to getting my first snippet and then to get my first major placement. And I thought in today's video, what I would do is I would explain the process that I went through in that year, exactly what I did in order to get my first placement and how you can do the exact same. Because recently a lot of people have been asking me, how do I get placements? How do I get artists using my samples? How did I get my first placement? So I thought what I'll do is I'll make a video today explaining that. Now you might be thinking, oh, well, this happened 3-4 years ago. Is it patched? No, this method isn't a fortnight update. It's not patched. You can still apply the exact same principles that I'll be talking about in this video. So a few months after posting that story, I had actually begun making loops. So I'd posted that story not knowing that the chance of me getting a major placement by making a beat was much lower. So what I did was I started learning how to make samples and I started making guitar samples a few months after. Now my samples were very shit. If you're watching this and you're lacking in a certain skill, maybe you don't know how to record your guitar, for example, it's not that you're necessarily bad at it. It's just that you haven't put the reps in yet to become good at it in the first place. So that was sort of the matter for me with loops. But what I was doing was I was making multiple loops every single day. Every single time I made a new loop, I would just get better and better and I would learn a new thing. Now what I was doing then were the Rod Wave 2C loops. The piano stuff with the vocals, the guitars. These were quite popular. I remember I was in a group chat with Money XO. I remember him telling everyone in the group chat, guys, make YouTube loop kits. Every time you have 5 loops ready, just make a YouTube loop kit and put it out there for free because you never know who can see your stuff. So I implemented that advice. And honestly, that's one of the best pieces of advice I've received in my whole career because that absolutely did wonders for me. As you can see on my YouTube channel, this was really what got the ball rolling for me. So my loops were fucking shit. Just make sure you don't get it twisted. When I started posting these loops, that was also when I started making a loop. So the whole concept was very new to me. But at the time, YouTube liked me a lot and they were pushing the videos a lot. I'm looking now, 7K views, 5K views. I can't even get above that right now. But yeah, this really got the ball rolling for me because people who were also making these loops were becoming more familiar with me and people who were making the Rod Wave 2C beats were using my samples and they were uploading it on BeatStars. This is part of the reason why I like YouTube loop kits so much. It's because it's all inbound traffic. It's not a matter of me reaching out to someone. It's a matter of someone just coming to me and taking it. And pretty much what I would do is I'd go through BeatStars collabs and I'd look for the best ones and I'd message the best people. And some of the people that I messaged 3-4 years ago, I am still very good friends to and I still talk to pretty much every day to this day. But yeah, I kept posting these kits. I'm pretty sure I did one every single week. And yeah, it's very important to mention the loops were not very good, but it sort of goes to show that your loops don't actually have to be the greatest thing ever for them to get placed. Don't look at the top people in the industry and be like, oh, my stuff isn't as good as them. I'm not going to send anything out. I'm not going to message anyone. I'm just going to wait. You don't necessarily want to do that. If your stuff is complete shit, wait and get it to a certain level. But what I'm saying is once you're at a certain level, then you are good to go with messaging people and putting your stuff out there, making the YouTube loop kits, etc. I'm actually looking at this old video now. It's kind of depressing. Like this has so many likes and views. Like what the fuck? But anyways, yeah. So I was posting these kits and I was also growing my Instagram because whenever I posted the free kit, I would make sure someone had to follow me on Instagram. And that's also a nice little trick that you can use to grow your following, for example. But yeah, posting a lot of these loops and I started working with other sample makers. This is sort of what sped my career up a bit. If you're lacking network, but you've got a good amount of skill, work with other sample makers because these people do have a network. Maybe this person here has less skill than you, but they have more of a network. And you've got more skill, but less of a network. You can join together. It sort of balances it out and it just makes both of your careers a lot better and a lot easier. So I started collabing with other sample makers who were doing similar samples to me. I would find them on Instagram and I would message them, I'd hit them up. And one of them was Mark Modder. So we worked on a few samples. I think we did like 3 or 4 and I put one of them into this kit. So obviously I didn't think much of it because I've uploaded so many kits at this point. I'm getting more collabs in, blah, blah, blah. But I'm still waiting for that major placement. So now we can fast forward to pretty much a year after posting that story. So around October 2021, and I remember I was finishing studying for school. And I get off the train because I'm about to go to the library and I get a text. I get a text from Gary Beats. And I was like, oh shit. And I checked the message and it was like yo bro, can I get your details? we got a song. And I was like, who the fuck's the song with? I gave him the details and I was like, who the fuck's the song with? Because like, I want to know. And he told me, he was like, yeah, bro, the song's with Young and Ace, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh shit, like that's crazy. Because that was the first time I ever got one of those texts. It's one of the best feelings when someone's like, we got one. That's like, it's like a whole producer thing. It's one of the best feelings. And when I got that, I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. And yeah, I remember going into the library. I did no study that day. I was there for like 10 hours because I was just hyped. I was like, yo, this is insane. I can't believe this. I asked Gary, I was like, do you send Young and Ace beats? What's the deal with that? And he said, no, he just posted the beat on YouTube. So Young and Ace actually found the beat on YouTube. So I posted a loop kit on YouTube for free. Gary found me. He made the beat and he posted the beat for free on YouTube, and then Young and Ace found it. So this kind of just goes to show like, there are a million different ways of getting placements. Don't think that there's only one way. You're better off just increasing the odds by having a whole lot of avenues in regards to the way that people can find you and the way that people can access you, as seen in this example. So Young and Ace at this time, he was much more popping than he was now. Like back then, it was more of a big deal, I'd say, because his last album just went on Billboard. He had just made a really, really big song. I remember when I posted, I got on the album, I got like 20 or 30 story mentions. That's more than my Youngboy songs. Like, I don't know why people were turning me up so much for him, but I have a feeling it's because he was just much more popping back then than he is now. So a few days after, there was a video snippet of the behind the scenes of the music video, and I posted that on my story. That was on the 30th of October. On the 2nd of November, I was also at the library studying. And I opened my phone and I had another snippet. And this snippet was No Cap. He did a feature on this song with No Savage. And that song's called Feeling Down. And that song actually went on Billboard. That was my first Billboard one. So in the space of 3 days, I've gone from no placements to these 2 snippets. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? This is crazy. And again, I did no study because I was just too hyped and too excited. This one's with Harto. He's actually produced the craziest Lil Baby beat I've ever heard, which is the Hey beat. If you haven't heard that beat, that's fucking insane. But yeah, this was in 2021, and I remember he just put on his story like, I need loops or something, and I just sent him the loops like quickly. He needed Rod Wave loops, and I sent him like 5, and I think he used 2. The valuable lesson to learn from that is just to move quickly. If you see someone has an opportunity, if you're the first one to send it, there's a much higher chance of your stuff getting checked rather than delaying it and waiting and sending it 24 hours later, because maybe by 24 hours, the opportunity has passed and they're not going to open the email even. So that's what I learned from that one. But yeah, pretty much these 2 songs dropped the next month, and that was really big for me because that gave me a lot of momentum, and I was able to use that momentum to work with more people, to message more people, add more people to my weeklies list, blah, 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 blah. And this is what happens when you get placements. It sort of just gives you validity. It gives you credit, which you can then use to keep going and keep pushing and keep sort of working up the ranks. Now, going back to exactly how you can copy this for yourself. No, I wasn't doing weekly loops. I started doing weekly loops in 2022. In 2021, I would send people loops, but I didn't really have a weekly list. It was kind of weird. I kind of forgot how I did it. But yeah, the main takeaways from this is that when you start doing something new, you're going to be bad, but just keep practicing and you'll get better. It's the most basic and cliche advice, but sometimes the most basic advice is the most important. If you are learning a new skill, you're going to be bad to start. That's why you have to put the reps in. Make more loops. Make 5 to 6 loops in a day. Make 10 loops in a day. Every time you make one, you're going to learn something and you're just going to get better and better over time. The second thing to learn from this is sometimes shit just randomly happens. Sometimes when you're just throwing shit at the wall, it sticks, right? So I've uploaded heaps of these YouTube loop kits. I'm getting my loops on people's laptops. I'm getting my loops heard on YouTube beats, blah, blah, blah. And it's sort of like, eventually something just sticks, right? There's ways you can maximize your luck is what I'm trying to say. So that's the second thing you can learn from this. The third thing you can learn from this is to be quick, like that No Savage, No Cap example. Just being quick, acting with speed is super important. The last thing is you never really know what's happening. This is super important with producing because that Young and Ace song might have been recorded 6 months ago. That No Savage song might have been recorded 8 months ago. I actually don't know. But there's no point getting all discouraged and whingy and whiny and, oh, why aren't I getting the results? Oh, why aren't I getting a placement? It's like, bro, you could already have a placement. You could already have a song with your favorite artist and you just don't know. This is just the nature of the game. In a way, it's shit, but in another way, it's actually super exciting because sometimes shit just randomly happens. Sometimes you'll have a month where you just get like 3 big songs all in one and it's like, what the fuck's going on? But then obviously you're going to have times where it's completely slow and it's shit. That's just the game. But if you're genuinely working hard and you're doing what you know you need to be doing, you're not going to doubt yourself because you're going to know that there is a sunny day coming sometime. Like me right now, I haven't had a big song drop in fuck knows how long. Like, I think like a few months, like 4 months. I've had a Rilo and No Cap song leak, which is useless, right? Because it's not coming out. But yeah, it's like I'm not tripping because I trust that something's happening. I reckon there's something that's going to come out soon. Like, and I feel like if you just have this mentality, don't be delusional, but be a bit more hopeful because yeah, this is just how it happens. This is what happens. The last thing I'm going to say, adding on to that point, maybe I'll make a separate video on this, but I remember for the Youngboy Nicki Minaj song I got, the night that I found out a few hours before, I was like, bruv, fucking hell, like, am I falling off or something? And then I get a call from Yeti and he's like, yo, bro, we got this Youngboy song, blah, blah, blah. Just like, you know what I mean? You think, sometimes you like think you're falling off, but you haven't. Sometimes you think your career's fucked, but it's like more alive than ever and you just had no idea because you had these songs that didn't come out. Anyways, I'm rambling a bit. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment. It helps boost the video and I absolutely love seeing people commenting stuff. It makes me want to keep doing these videos like this. Also, join my broadcast channel. I'm posting opportunities and value in there. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.